It's 2022. What are the best tactics for SEO in 2022? Hey everybody, welcome to Traffic Keys. I am your host Atiba, and if you're a business owner looking to drive more eyeballs to your website, then you're in the right place because that's what we talk about. And today we're going to be diving into this topic of what are the best tactics, SEO tactics to drive traffic in 2022. And spoiler alert, there are none. There are none. Flat out. That's one of the major problems in the SEO industry. That's one of the major problems in marketing in general. Everybody wants to jump on the latest tactic. But guess what? The best tactic is a solid strategy. You want to drive traffic to your website? Stop chasing the new fad tactic, cool thing that is promising you that, oh, this will drive traffic, or, oh, that will drive traffic, and get a solid strategy that you can build on. And then when you have a solid strategy, then you can look at the different tools and resources that come out, the different things that are available in the market to figure out what fits your strategy and best. Okay. Also your budget. All right. So what the heck is a good SEO strategy then? Well, that's what we talk about here on Traffic Keys. And there are three things to driving traffic, guys. Three things to driving traffic. Number one, when you're talking about strategy, you must know your audience. Master your audience. You should know your audience and what they like and what their preferences are better than your audience knows themselves. Because the whole point here is we're communicating to them. And if we're going to communicate to someone else, we have to understand exactly how they need to be communicated to so that they can hear and receive the message that we're giving them. So know your audience. Now, if you don't know your audience and or you're like, I don't even understand totally what that means, I do have a course that I've taught that I've created on creating and defining your personas, which are really fictitious characters that represent your audience, your ideal customer. And that's one of the keys in knowing your audience is we're talking about knowing your ideal customer, not every customer, but knowing your ideal customer. Knowing your ideal customer, not the ones who are pain in the tail that you wish you could get rid of. You don't need to know how to communicate to them. You need to know how to communicate that they won't like you. And getting to know your audience and building personas, that's the easiest and best way to do it. So I've got a link down below for that course that you can get. If you haven't built personas yet, I strongly suggest, even if you don't use my course, I strongly suggest that you do it. I've got a ton of videos on this channel that we talk about personas. Go watch some of those, but you need to build personas and get to know your audience. So that's number one in terms of strategy. The second thing that you need in terms of strategy is you actually need a communication strategy, right? You need a content strategy. So once you know who you're talking to and how you're talking to them, then you need to know what you're going to say. What is the strategy of what you're going to communicate to them? See how those two things work hand in hand? The challenge is so many people dive in and say, okay, I'm going to figure out my content, and they don't ever take the time to consider who's actually listening to this content. Where are they before they started listening to this content, and where do I need them to get to? So next is your content strategy. And third thing to mastering traffic is your SEO. Absolutely. Your SEO, if you're doing it organically, your SEO has to be on point in all three phases of your SEO. Your technical SEO, your on-page SEO, and your off-page SEO. Those must be on point. But get this, if you've done everything in SEO correct, which is what a lot of you have done, you've gone on and you're trying to figure out the tactics to SEO. but you didn't do the first two stages. You didn't consider your audience well enough, and you didn't consider the content strategy for that audience. It doesn't matter what you do in SEO. You're still not going to rank well, and you're still not going to get the traffic. You only get the traffic from doing SEO right when you do the first two parts of the strategy correctly. Okay? You got to do those correctly. And that's why I say stop chasing tactics, because tactics are all down here in the SEO space of different ways to do things, different ways to be, right? And different ways to hack the system. Guess what? You ain't ready for all of that yet. If you haven't done the upfront work of really getting to know your audience, building solid personas of your audience, and then coming up with a content strategy of what you're going to be communicating sequentially in order that would make sense to that audience. Okay, so I know you probably came here wanting some secret and magic bullet. Well, this is a secret and a magic bullet, because I guarantee you that if you do these things, because I've been doing these three things for years for brands. If you do these three things, okay, and you start at the beginning with your personas and move through your content strategy and then into SEO, not only will you generate traffic, you will generate sustainable traffic for the long haul. Okay. Not only will you generate sustainable traffic for the long haul, but then when new tactics do come out, you can evaluate them based on what you're currently doing and see if it fits your audience, your content, and where it fits in your SEO. It gives you a better base to evaluate, because there are always going to be new things. They're always, listen, shiny object syndrome is a real thing. Hey, even I suffer from shiny object syndrome. People send me stuff. I see stuff all the time like, ooh, what's this new tool? Ooh, what's that new tool? But when I see that new tool, I always have to go back to what is my strategy and how does this fit in my strategy? Does this fit in my strategy? And if it doesn't, it might be super cool. It might be, but I can't add it. I can't add it. Okay. And you shouldn't either, because that's the easiest way to get nowhere fast. So what's the shiny new tactic for 2022? Master your strategy. Master your strategy. That's it. It's that simple. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.